Jack? I wonder, does he drive buses for a living?
He's looking very fit. I like the collar. I like the beanie. He's the good shave as well. He's got yeah, he's looking good. It looks like he shot it in the morning at least. He's looking good, Marlon.
Marlon, clarify on your next prediction video. Are you a bus driver?
Hello, it's Marlon from South Euclid TV. Jack and Dave, hope you are well, recovering from that Chelsea defeat. I did call it. Everyone said I was wrong. I called it. Anyway, let's get on to Wolves. Injury crisis defensively. And Dave will understand this. Eric Dyer at the back. So my prediction for this week, just due to Ange and the way he still wants to play exactly the same way, and he can't do it. He cannot do it with Dyer. And if he has Phillips at the back, maybe he can still play it. But Dyer was caught out against Chelsea as well, and he just can't do it. Look at his Champions League record last year. When he comes up against decent teams, it's horrible. It's horrible. So he can't. He's got to adjust a little bit. I know everyone's going it's the Ange way, but he's got to adjust. Otherwise, he will never become that elite coach that he wants to be. But he's great for now. So hopefully we can get some sort of result. I'm going to go for 1-1. I think we might take an early lead, but I think our defence will let us down. Eric Dyer is going to let us down at some point on Saturday, so I'm going to go 1-1. Unfortunately, again, I'm just, with a no defence, I can't see it happening, but it'd be interesting to see what you lot think.
Hello and welcome to South Euclid TV. Yes, it's me, Marlon, this week, and I've got some guests. It's finished Wolves 2, Spurs 1 at Molineux. Not the result we were hoping for. We've got a lot to talk about. You saw my prediction there, early lead. I thought it was going to be 1-1. I saw the lateness coming. I just didn't expect to. But again, I don't know what the people think, but I think we've been let down by the defence anyway. But I think we've also been let down by attack this week. But anyway, it's not about me. It's about all my guests, and let's get going. But first of all, let me give a good welcome to TJ. Are you well?
I'm good. I'm dead. I can't be asked, but I'm here.
Has fellow co-host, Friday's co-host preview show. He's here. Well, I'm not even going to ask him if he's well. I don't care.
But the next person who I'll come off now. No, I'm joking.
But the next person who I hate doing streams with when we lose because he kills me, he cracks me up, he is the man. Let's give a warm welcome to Mac. Gareth,
good job you skipped asking how Has was because it's more important to get me on.
I thought you were going to return the Mac because
Mystic Marlon. Right, Mystic Marlon with the predictions. What's the lottery numbers for next week, bruv?
Mate, that's 2 weeks in a row. I can only do football. I can't do lottery numbers, unfortunately.
What, Marlon, did you predict us to lose last against Chelsea?
Yes, I did. I said to everyone.
Okay, cool.
I said weeks ago. I
said at the start of the season.
Yeah,
that's when I predicted.
Yeah, I said from day one our first loss was going to be Poch.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I said.
It happens. It is what it is. So I'm obviously going to start, right? Because obviously we were going into this game and we had no defense. A lot of stuff had happened on Monday. We knew it was going to happen. So the team was Vicario, which we all expected, Porro, Dyer, Davis, Royale. Can't get them too mixed
Chicken
up.
Royale.
Højbjerg, Bissouma, Sarr, Kulusevski, Son, and Johnson. I'm going to start with you, Mac, right? When you saw that lineup, was that the lineup you was expecting, considering everything we had?
I think it was the best we could have expected, all considered. I'll be honest, I looked at it and I thought, do you know what? Hopefully there's enough there to be able to take the points with Wolves, because Wolves just have seemed toothless up front all season. I knew they'd cause us some issues. I expected them to give us a run around a bit because they're a physical team. But I erred slightly more on the confident side than I did on the negative, because I just thought that with Ange Ball and what we did have within the starting lineup, despite the defence, that we might have just had enough to have got it over the line.
TJ, lineup. I saw your preview on Friday that you did on this channel. So everyone remember that we did a preview show. TJ's on, but no, what when you started to watch that game and you saw that lineup, because you didn't know the lineup beforehand, and it was all we didn't know what to expect. When you saw that, did you think it had enough to beat Wolves or at least get a result?
You know what? Them players on the pitch should be ashamed of themselves. I'm sorry, as much as a lot of Spurs fans are going to disagree with me, but them players on the pitch should be able to beat Wolves. I don't want to sit here and say the lineup was bad because all of them players on the pitch, for me, should beat Wolves. But the lineup, I was surprised that he decided to go with Ben Davis and Dyer. I wanted to see the youth kind of like prosper, And I'm not saying two youth play in that one game, but either Dyer and Ashley Phillips or what's his name? Donnelly?
Donnelly.
Donnelly, the centre back. That was the only surprise bit I had with that lineup. However, them players should be ashamed of themselves because
spot on, man.
Let me be honest with you. A team that is all about attacking, they've done a lot of defending work. And are we saying Maddison is the only one that can create? Come on, man. Them attackers.
But you know what, TJ? It's amazing that you said that because, as I said in the green room, as it were, my Kane analogy. What looked disappointing for me today was remember under Pochettino, Kane would go out with his glass ankle, and we'd get to the final third, and it wouldn't matter what run that Vince Janssen would make, or Soldado would make, or whoever we had, playing up top at the time to cover that position. We always got to that final third and we looked lost. We didn't know, we kind of tapped it around and then put in a wayward shot or something weak, or, we'd lose the ball and end up chasing back for it. Today, I felt like we did the same with Maddison. When the ball was in the midfield, it was like, where's Madders? What are we going to do? What do we do to go forward?
There's no creativity in that midfield three.
Oh, shit. And the problem is when you've got, I'd have played Bentancur to start with because he's got that little bit more creativity about him. I understand we're trying to just get him back to fitness, but it's Wolves. And I know that they were physical today, but I still probably would have started with him. But when you've got Højbjerg in the middle, who he's not a creative midfielder, he's not going to play that pass. Would I maybe put Lo Celso in? But either way, it was like we had Kane up top again, but for the middle of the park. Where's Madders? What the fuck do we do now? And it, as much as there was a decent ping here and there, it was lifeless. There was nothing going up top unless Johnson or Son or Kulusevski tried to pick it up and run with it, and inevitably get tackled and we lost it.
So awful performance, man.
So let's get on to the start. 3 minutes in, right, and we score an early goal. A bit like how we played against Chelsea, if I'm being honest. We started off reasonably well. Oh, Hazard, you're back now. Oh,
yeah, sorry, man.
You're going to take a break. You've missed the other question. I'm not even going to ask you. You come back to me later on this. 15 minutes in. No, not 15. First 3, 4, 5 minutes in. We get an early lead. Was you positive about what the outcome was going to be in the end? Like, was it the best start we could have asked for? Mac, I'm going to start with you again.
Yeah. Do you know what? I thought a couple of early goals would have really settled it for the boys. And it would have given us that cushion because you look how Wolves played. They were physical. They wanted it more. I felt like they wanted it more. Everything they chased harder. They chased faster. They hit harder. And I feel like the early goal went in. I thought if we just capitalise on that instability of the opening sort of 5-10 minutes, if we could have got another one, I think we might well have had something more out of it, because when it came to the final third, Wolves were toothless. And I just, it was just unfortunate today that that we had the injuries that we had, and the people that we had on the pitch didn't cut the mustard.
TJ, 3 minutes in, 3 minutes in.
I agree. I totally agree. We set up well at the start, like the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The result would have changed if we got a second. Kulusevski started off bright. What he was doing on the wings. I haven't seen that all season from him, so that was a bonus. But it felt like me. They ran out of ideas. It's like when you're at that pinnacle moment. You know, like you've got a boner on it.
Right.
You've got a boner, and you're just about to bust. And now you've bust, you don't have no energy. That's exactly what happened today. There's nothing left in the tank.
I'm going to use a slightly different analogy, mate. It's like trying to use a tongue and the fingers at the same time while you shit face. You get to a certain point and then you just start going through the same old routine.
Yeah, so
I am sorry, people. Southview Quest TV has gone in the mud.
You've gone past the 10-minute mark, Marlon. That's it.
Like, no, but look, if we got the second, maybe the outcome of the game could have been different. But you know what? Ange, for me, I'm not too sure about you, but his philosophy is attack. And even after that interview when we lost 4-1 against Chelsea, he said, if I lined up with 5 men, I'm going to play this style of play. What I saw on that pitch was a defensive line. We didn't attack. We had maybe like 8 shots in the whole game.
He had to work with what he had, though, TJ. Bear that in mind.
I'm sorry, them
But then,
people
if
on
that's
the
the
pitch
case,
are
you
good
should put a different lineup out rather than this rubbish of Dyer every year, what we've seen already.
Well, he could have because he had the 21.
Be more creative. Put Kulusevski in the middle. Try something different. There's no point. That midfield three for me was the wrong midfield three because there's literally no creativity in there at all. So it's like it was just very not stable is not the right word, but it was very stale.
Actually, this is a very good question.
Nothing in that midfield to imply to me that we're going to play through balls.
No, but this is a very good question because for me, when I saw the lineup, right, for me, right, and I agree, there was 3. Look, there was Højbjerg, Basuma, and Sarr, not one attacking player in there, right. So he obviously was trying to protect the defense, but still play the same way. It makes no sense. So my question is for you lot is, does this mean Lo Celso's career is over at Spurs? Because if he can't start today, he's never going to start, right?
But it
I
never
think
got
he's gone
started
in January in the summer. So.
But you know, I'm going to answer that question. But you know, one thing that has surprised me about Ange, as much as we love how we're playing and this new style, and the players are buying into this process. One thing about Ange, he uses a lot of youth, and in his Celtic times, he would use youth. I'm surprised he hasn't really embedded youth into it. What we got Alfie Moore, I think his name's Alfie Moore in the setup, and all of these players. You're telling me that we have to rely on Maddison? Okay, cool. Lo Celso might not be cutting it. Brian Hill, yeah, he just came on today, right? We haven't seen a single minute from him. I'm surprised that these players haven't had chances to actually shine under him. Look, them 11 players that he wants on the pitch is not going to always play for all the play in all of the games. So regardless of if you thought the lineup would win, you need to trust your squad. How I've been playing football, the squad is so important. I play FM, you know, and I have to use my squad. So if I have to use my squad, I'm definitely sure Ange has to use his squad as well, and he's not using his squad.
Okay, so quick question, because he did come out and say this midweek, that basically this is what happens when you don't have European football. He can't use his squad because of he's gone out in the cup. He risked it in the cup. He did. And it fell by the wayside, and he probably got rid of the one defender 2 days later that could play his system, right? So which was okay, fine, fair enough. But then he hasn't had a chance to not play any of these players at all. So my question to you lot is, if these players haven't played for months, and let's be honest, most of them let us down this last year, is this not what we kind of expected? Because I'm going to just throw this out to you, right? We had 58% of the possession, but 17 shots Wolves had compared to our 6. 4 on target compared to our 2.
We were on ropes.
Yeah.
I took back to the wall, mate, from the first 5 minutes.
So this is my question. We were literally from after we scored, it was literally all Wolves. Right?
Literally the whole game. It was the whole game.
The whole game was Wolves, and we were probably quite lucky that we didn't concede earlier. Like for me, if Wolves were more clinical, it could have been a different scoreline, right? Or am I just reading?
No,
110%. You're totally right. Yeah. Anybody that thinks different technically is deluded, because so having that many shots against Tottenham, in my opinion, that's you struggling. You're struggling to contain the game, and as much as you want to have possession, if you don't have bullets in the chamber, there's no point of the possession, in my opinion.
So my question
I
to all
rather
you lot, right?
so
Yeah. No,
just
go on, TJ.
yeah,
This
let
is
me
my
just
question
let
to
me
all
just
of you. Yeah, go on.
okay, go on then, go for it, bro.
This is my question to all you lot. Considering the way Ange wants to play, right? And I think Adrian's just put it in the chat as well, where he says Ange went for experience, right?
But why? Guy's useless.
Listen,
we know he's useless. We know he's useless. Why is he playing? Please,
I
please.
hate them comments, you know.
Pass.
Is this on? Is this?
Yes,
is
it's
this
on
starting
Ange.
lineup?
It is on
Why
Ange.
Is this more on
diabolical
Ange than the
It
players?
definitely is. No, look, sorry,
Yeah.
bro, Adrian,
Huh?
I love you, love the comment, respect your hustle, but it's on
This is the common
Ange.
people, yeah.
Yeah, it is on Ange, innit? No, I'm not going at you, Adrian, but for me personally, if you're gonna set up like this and you say you're gonna use experience, this, you know, has carry on, man. I'm stressed out already.
God has.
No, what I'm trying
Because
to say,
people wanted to call me deluded when I predicted Chelsea to beat us, you know. And then when they beat us, the narrative was, "Oh, we played well. Oh, Tottenham should hold their heads high." Shut up. The same
I can agree
players
with
that
that
lost today,
narrative in
yeah.
the Chelsea game. I can't agree with that for today. Today we didn't play well. We were missing in the middle. We were toothless. We were second
But
best.
why
Now,
is that?
don't get
But
me
why
wrong.
is that though?
Why?
He's got
Because
no
you know what?
creativity without
Because
Maddison.
he should have refreshed the squad. All right, he's used players that were playing 9 men against Chelsea, slogging their bollocks off. All right, all right, and they've knackered themselves out because of the importance of the Chelsea game. Right, and then instead of refreshing it, he's turned around and gone, yeah, fuck it, let's use the same boys again. And this is where he sits there and goes about not having European football. No, it's games like this where you go, do you know what? My boys are fucked because let's be honest, our next couple of games, you know, City's in 2 games' time. Well, we've got Villa next, I think, isn't it?
Villa
Villa at home next.
Yeah,
West Ham at home, and then Newcastle.
and then we got them horrible bastards coming to ours. It's you. If you're going to have any games where you're going to just sort of try and give the boys a rest, then this is one of those games, you know. And why he hasn't done, you know, do I think it sits with Ange? Yes, I do. But also at the same time, as you said, TJ, the boys on the pitch should have been good enough to be able to get a result. So therefore, for me, it kind of it's split. I won't give a percentage because it's irrelevant. They both need to hold their hands up to a degree.
I thought Kuda was poor, Adrian.
Right, but at the same time, I've got to give Ange a little bit of credit because you know the way he the way he's come out. He's a man that you know where you stand. He says what he means and he means what he says. And just to have that at the moment is refreshing. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure it'll get boring for a lot of us as time goes on because it doesn't matter how many times you hold your hands up. If you know you should have done something different, then do something different instead of after every game going, well, yeah, we could have done this, but this is how I do it. It's just today is just one of those frustrating days, and I don't think he used his head. We've got boys that could be used. Phillips should have played, in my opinion. You know, there's other players that could have come in and done a job. And to be fair, they probably would have done a better job because they'd have been running their bollocks off for the shirt rather than still hanging out of their arse from the Chelsea game.
2 weeks ago,
yeah, that's a very good point. Like, were they too tired for this? Go on.
Oh, mate, they didn't have. We've already all agreed, right, that the team have sat there, right, and they were second best to everything. They didn't have the get up and go that what we've expected from Ange Ball so far, and you can't tell me that is anything other than the fact that they gave their absolute fucking all, left their arseholes hanging out, right, against Chelsea. All right, they were absolutely blowing. They gave it all, even with 9 men. Carried on attacking, carried on giving it large, and they did that for the sake of the fact that they had 60,000 Tottenham supporters egging them on, telling them to get a job done because Chelsea's Chelsea, and this is where you have to then freshen it up. And we have enough experience in the squad to have been able to have freshened it up and given some youth the chance to shine.
TJ, yes, carry on.
I was just about to just add on to Matt's little cameo. I was just about to say 2 weeks ago, I predicted Chelsea was going to be the pinnacle point of us falling apart. I said that to Haz on his show. I even said it on his channel. if we lose against
No one
Pochettino-
watches that, TJ. So it's
I even said it on this channel. I said it on our preview
Hey,
channel as
TJ,
well.
you need to talk to me, not Has.
I even said it on the on the preview show. I said if we lose against Chelsea, that's gonna be where everything goes wrong, and it seems like everything's going wrong. Now,
But for me, Marlon, it's 2 injuries, and now we're in a crisis.
So
we said this after the transfer window, though. 2 or 3 injuries, and we're fucked.
So
whose fault is that then? We can go back to the
I think that's Levy's, man. I think that's Levy's, you know.
But look, let's look at it like this, right? Will Ange learn from today that because
No.
obviously we all saw Ben Davies couldn't hack it at left back against Crystal Palace, right? And to be fair to him, he's not played him left back since. He played him centre back. And actually, out of the 4 of them today, I'm going to be honestly and say he was probably the best out of the 4.
True.
What do I always say about Dyer, though? He's Davies. He's Mr. Dependable. I've always said that about him, right? I've always said it. He will come in and do a job. He's not the most talented. He's not the most gifted. But do you know what? You can trust the guy to go in and give his all. And for me, today he did.
The problem with what you just said there is is Ange gonna learn from this? No, because he seems like he's stubborn.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, look, I'm not saying Ange is the wrong manager for us. I think what he's done.
No.
He's transformed us.
Yeah.
But he's stubborn. He has a style of play that he wants to work. And again, with the players that he has, they potentially can't play this style. So you have to be able to adapt.
I've got a question for you, TJ, just based on what you've just said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather have a stubborn bastard who plays defensive football, who's a miserable prick, right, Conte? Or would you rather have somebody who only knows one way, is a stubborn bastard who plays football that we all sit there and go, oh, yeah, fucking yeah, that's fucking amazing. That's fucking brilliant. Yeah, go on, Matt.
Oh,
go on, Matt. Yes.
I have an answer for that.
Yeah.
If we had Conte, listen, a lot of people are going to disagree with me. If we had Conte at Chelsea, we would have won that game. There you go. That's so now back to what you're gonna say.
We've
want
literally gone like the complete opposite. We've gone from like someone who's really defensive to someone who's ultra attacking.
Did you know what?
Now,
I spoke to Gary Babbitt before the England-Italy game. I saw him outside outside of Wembley. Right?
Name drop.
I saw lots of pictures. I saw lots of pictures.
You want to see the pictures I got from my boy? It was my boy's first international. He met Teddy Sheringham, Paul Gascoigne, Gary Mabbutt, Lewis Dunn.
Andro, what game was that?
Gianluigi Buffon.
Matt, wait. Before you carry on, do you want to adopt me? I've never met them players in my life.
He met Daniel De Rossi, World Cup winner, right? Roman midfielder. He met Zola, mate. He met
Zola.
Some player from Orient. But mate, seriously, mate. But anyway,
how old is your son? How old is your son?
9.
9.
Listen,
I'm 23. Listen, Mac, I'm 23. You can adopt me.
Yeah, no, that's fine, mate. As long as you're outspoken and you know how to cook, then happy days. But he said, listen, he said, Ange is a revelation, right? And the one thing he said, and you know, he said the whole attitude, everything has changed at Tottenham since Ange came in. And he says the biggest thing that Ange has done is he's taken the break off, he's taken the shackles off the boys and said, go and play your football, right? Now, based on what Mabbutt has told me, right? If that's what Ange has said to the boys, if anything, surely that proves that the players who played today, or the ones who came in to cover the billets that were empty, surely that then shows that these guys aren't good enough to play the football.
But then at the same time, then when you think of what TJ's saying, like to adapt the style based on the personnel.
Okay, but I'm just gonna add to that.
It's your show, mate. I might be in the top corner.
I'm gonna add to that. So it's correct in what Mabbutt's saying, right? And I agree. But look at Bielsa. If you don't adapt in the Premier League, it's a punishing league, as we found out today, right? So, and if you look at Celtic's record in the Champions League last year under Ange, he didn't. If you look at Ange last year in the Champions League, last year against in better teams, he didn't adapt, and they just got smashed. They're getting smashed already, but
you look at the difference between the Farmers League north of the border and the creme de la creme of leagues in Europe. Yeah, you're right. It's we're probably we are the most competitive league in the world, and you do need to learn to adapt. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure Ange will adapt, right? But
I don't think he will. I think he's.
And I know I say but, and that's not to caveat what I've said, right? But what I think Ange needs at the moment, the biggest thing Ange needs is he needs the right players. And the problem we've got is we didn't get rid of Højbjerg, we didn't get rid of Lo Celso. We've got Howard Wolowitz who just fucking runs it. Sorry, Gil. Sorry, reminds me of Howard Wolowitz from The Big Bang Theory, right? But we've got all of these people. Don't get me wrong, I'd have Bernie, but yeah, Brian can fuck off. It's we've got these players that we couldn't shift. Right, we've got these players that we couldn't quite get over the line. Don't get me wrong, the transfer window was positive and it's good steps. Do I think Spurs would be a different animal 2 windows in if we kept Ange? Quite potentially, because hopefully we'll have the depth and we'll have got rid of the shite that aren't going to be able to play his football and do what he wants. I just think today is also another, and not because I think Levy's a bald-headed prick who needs to get shot, but I think that there is an element of recruitment.
Well, we only signed 1 centre-back the whole summer. 1 senior centre-half.
When I generally thought we should have had 2. Yeah. We should have had 2
centre-backs. Ange did come out, but to be fair, Ange did say he wanted to. Yeah, Ange said he wanted to. He did come out and say.
So who let him down then?
So,
but he's not used. But that goes back to my main point. He's not even using the youth. This is my problem. My problem is it's not that I have a problem with Ange. Ange's done amazing. I don't want people to think I'm against Ange. I'm just saying, a manager that has a squad, he's not using his squad.
No,
and then you throw him.
Ellie makes a good point there. The team fell asleep. Yes, they fell asleep. Do I think it's because they were hanging out their hoop from Chelsea? Yes. But this is the beauty of opinions. They're like arseholes. Everybody's got them, and some of them stink.
Yeah. It was a capitulation.
We're not all going to agree with each other. There will be people who sit there and say it's all and shut up, Has. Right? There's people who sit there, right, and will say it's all and. There's people who sit there and say it's all the squad. There are people who sit there because they're diehard Levy haters and go, it's recruitment, it's recruitment. There is. Don't get me wrong. The boys on the pitch need to do the job. The governor needs to make sure he's got the boys on the pitch to do the job. But he can't have the boys on the pitch to do the job if the bald-headed fucker at the top don't sign the checks or agree to get the players that he wants. So either way, it's a domino effect.
You got a good point, to be honest with you.
Do you think? So another question here is, right? Because I heard this earlier and I thought actually this might be a point, right? So you obviously there was no lead. Like I heard, there's no leaders on the pitch. I've heard kind of the same from you lot as well. But when you're missing your vice captain and your vice captain,
who steps up?
Only got, who's like Son's the only captain on the pitch, right? But defensively, it's a brand new defense, right?
It's one of the areas where I was really disappointed with Højbjerg.
And Son was playing Chinese whispers with the captaincy. Yeah. So he was whispering. And then the other motherfucker.
He was anonymous the whole game.
Careful. It was South Korean whispers.
Well, okay, cool. I didn't mean it like that, but yeah, you could put
it. I'm only messing.
But what I wanted to.
Did you see the colour drain from his face for a split second? I thought Hazard got in 2 screens.
What I wanted to look at was the midfield and defence, right? The only person what I think actually can't take any blame for today, right? And you lot are going to be looking at me like, what? Is Emerson Royale? And
it was rubbish, man.
Marlon, hey, listen. Marlon, we need a new host.
Listen,
he's lost it.
Let me listen. Finish.
I don't want to listen. You just said Emerson Royale.
Bro, how can you ask a player who can't play football to go and play left back?
Then don't play him then.
I'm not going to lie. I'd rather him and Davies had switched, but at the same time, considering you're putting a square peg in a round hole, you've got to give the boy credit.
Yeah, because he doesn't play there. He's not good enough to play there, and you can't sit there and say, yeah, but this is what I'm saying. But yet you go play him at left back, and you've just gone and sold Regulon, who began the summer without having a recognised left back. So you can't sit there and blame Royale when he's not playing in his position. So he's playing left back.
He's not good enough for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, but you can't sit there and have a go at him for playing in a position, right? This is where I'm going. You can't sit there and have a go at him for playing in a position that he can never play. Everyone else today was playing in their position. Everybody, right? And they had poor performances.
And it goes back down to my point. He's not using his squad right because he's sold the same way you just said. He's sold Regulon to Man United. We could have used Regulon, Sanchez, for example, he's gone and look. As much as a lot of people want Sanchez gone, I wanted Sanchez gone. With the defenders that we have left at Tottenham, you've gone and sold him to
Galatasaray,
Fenerbahce, whatever the team is. Yeah, you've gone and sold these players. So it goes back down to my point. He's not using his squad. You brought in people like Ashley Phillips. He hasn't had a sniff. And he is all about, listen, I've watched a lot of Celtic games. He's all about youth, and he's not used none of his youth. So where's the defence?
But then again, mate, how can you be about youth when you sent the best part of your youth out on loan?
Yeah, Alfred Devine's gone.
I was tearing it up at Port Vale, right? And this is what, and then this goes back again to the recruitment side of things. Alfie Devine would have been an absolute blinders. He would have played a blinders day. I think he'd be fantastic on the bench. He's a player for me that I'm so excited about. And I did, when I had gone out on loan, I'll be honest, when I saw what we didn't do, even though I've already said I thought the transfer market was a positive one for us, right? When you look at what we didn't have, you then sit there and go, hold on a minute. All right, Alfie Devine is going to be able to create. He's going to be able to do something in that final third that players like Skippy and Højbjerg aren't. And then you sit there and go, well, who's sanctioning this? And I doubt very much that Ange just turned around and gone, yeah, Alfie, do one, because he would like you say, he is a youth manager. Right, so he would recognise the talent of Alfie Devine, not unless somewhere they've gone, well, actually, they're going to pay quite a lot of money for him. Happy fucking days. Thank you very much. We'll let him go. I can't see where Ange, based on your analogy of Celtic, mate, where the fuck he would have allowed that. But
and now it goes back down to another point I'm going to make later on in the show. Now we're hearing that we don't even have no money. So now you can't even offload players like Højbjerg and all of these other players, even Lo Celso. Look, as much as I don't want Lo Celso, we might need to keep him because we don't have money. If we don't have money to you understand my point? My point is we don't have money to even buy players. We don't even have money. We don't even have the setup to keep the players. We're not even using our squad. It's gone tits up.
It's one game. It's two games. It's two
I
games.
agree with TJ. We're in crisis.
But TJ has a point. TJ does have a point, right? And I totally get where he's coming from. But also at the same time, we've got to remember we haven't got the squad depth. So it's an emphasis on it's an emphasis on recruitment. It's an emphasis on not using the youth. There's a lot of valid points that come into this. But also at the same time, it's not all gone tits up just because Madders, Van der Ven, Romero all got fucked over one way or the other in one game.
It kind of has because we lost back-to-back games.
Yeah, but that can happen.
I was at the Chelsea.
Let me ask you a question. Did you honestly believe after 8 games sitting at the top of the league we were going to win it?
No.
Of course not.
Right.
You're talking to
me being a realistic Spurs fan of the age that I am, right? And I'm not going to tell everybody. There's enough grey in the beard for people to guess it's old enough, right? I'm not blessed with your youthful looks, Marlon, and I don't have to grow a shit tash to look older has. Oh shit! My mum sent me to the offie for some fags. I best grow a shit tash. It's November. They'll let me have them, right? But that jokes aside, I've even forgot my point. I've actually forgot my point, right? But no, I haven't. So I'm old enough, and a lot of people are going to be old enough to remember a certain way Spurs were.
Are you retired?
Huh? Have I retired? Yeah, I'm close to. Yeah, I'm close to, mate.
Huh?
Yeah.
You don't look like that.
Yeah, no, I'm moving in with his mum soon. She's going to start making sandwiches and keep me in the life I'm accustomed to. Yeah, that's why I'm a fat bastard. She gives me a sandwich every time I fuck her. So anyway, it's I love you, mate. But people who are Tottenham fans, realistic, you've got these Tottenham fans who came in under Poch and they all think that Spurs should be and are, and you've got these Tottenham fans from back in the day who look at how Tottenham were and go, we're back to where we should be. And then you've got Tottenham fans like me who became Spurs fans in the early 90s and gone, oh, well, we're mid-table dross, we're 3-point lane, we're hoping for a good cup run, and anything in the top half of the table, fucking A. Right? So for us to be sat at the top of the table, I didn't sat there think we're going to win the league. right? But I did expect us to lose games. Did I expect injuries? Yeah. Did I expect us to be derailed? Yes. Do I still sit there and go, oh my God, my whole world's crumbling down around my ears? No, it's Tottenham, right? And I know that sounds very blasé, right? But it is. It's Tottenham, okay? People sit there and think we should be challenging for the league. We should be making finals, season in, season out. No, we won't, and we haven't. And if you're realistic and you look back over being a Spurs fan over your lifetime, depending when you became a Spurs fan, you go, well, do you know what? Yeah, I expect us to get beat over the next couple of games because of the injuries. We haven't got the depth yet again. Oh, well, same old fucking Tottenham. Happy fucking days, right? So for me, yeah, we've lost 2 games. Yeah, we're going to go into it and maybe, scrape one against Villa. We probably get battered by them with the way they're playing because Emery's got them playing well. City,
Not away from home.
I'm not even going to watch the game. And if it's at home, I haven't checked yet, I'll be selling my ticket. I'm not even going to put myself through the fucking heartache and the travel. All right. But either way, the reality is, right, we are going to have these moments. We are going to have
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. Yep.
It's going to happen. And to sit there and start tying the noose around your own fucking neck because you're going, oh, fucking hell, this. No. No. Right? As long as we still finish, for me, this season, top 6. All right. I want top 4.
Is my predictions.
Right? As long as we finish top, but for me, as long as we finish top 6, this season will be successful. As long as Ange starts getting in the real players that he wants, I think we'll start seeing change. But to sit there after 2 defeats when the boys left their fucking everything out on the pitch against Chelsea, right? We're hanging out of their hoop against Wolves with a manager who didn't use the youth that he's got, with a chairman who sat there going, well, we had an okay window, but shit, it's biting us in the arse now, right? The reality is it is what it is. It's part of being a Spurs fan. And it will continue to be that way until we get oil money.
And when will that happen?
Fuck knows.
Never.
So I'm trying
to get shaky.
But actually, Gareth's right, in the sense of, right,
hold on, this is recorded, yeah? Well, this is recorded. So you saying I'm right is on...
No, I agree with you because I totally agree with your point, because we can't be in a crisis, right, when we were expected to lose some games already, yeah? Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, Chelsea, and we only lost 2, right? There are other games to come, yeah, but we're not in a crisis. You said you didn't expect us to win the league. You probably didn't expect us to finish top 6 at the beginning of the season.
No, but at the same time,
no, but it's a whole. So how can we be in a crisis?
We've literally capitulated.
But that's the thing, though. That's
happened. It's not just us. Look at Newcastle today. Newcastle today. How many injuries they got? How many? And that's what happens.
Yeah, but there's
when you've got injuries.
Half a squad or something.
But listen, but also you've got to look at who have we got results
against.
Problems. Who have we had results against? Right. Yeah. So people sit there, right? If you think about it in the grand scheme, people would have gone, Chelsea's going to be a tough one. Liverpool's going to be a tough one. We're probably not going to get a point in there. Right?
United.
You look at
United.
The other, right? United
from last
Arsenal,
season.
Right? People guarantee there are going to be people out there that would have gone, well, there's 3 losses. Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. There's 3 losses. Okay? People guaranteed. And what have we done? We've lost against Chelsea, which some people will expect. All right, even though they're being shit because Chelsea's Chelsea, they turn up like prime Barcelona or get the luck of the green, right? Whatever it is when they play Spurs, all right. And we've been unlucky to a degree, all right, and that's purely because of what happened at Chelsea, in my opinion, against Wolves. All right. Apart from that, I think that we've got a lot to be positive about, and it makes a fucking change to be sat here saying we've got a lot to be positive about.
And I'm gonna say something as well, right? If Manchester City lose Rodri, as we've seen this season, they're in a crisis. They lost 3 games when he was missing. They lost to Wolves, which we went and lost to today, yeah, and they lost to Arsenal the week after, and then they lost their cup game, right? So it happens. Injuries happen, and that's where we are at the moment. We've got injuries and suspensions. We've got Destiny out, so we had no left back today, and we've got Romero to come back. Right, the midfield wasn't balanced today, so Andrew's got to sort that out.
Thank you, Danny. You understand what I'm trying to say.
It's not a crisis. It's just a moment in time right now that we all expected to happen. We're going to go for a losing run. It's going to happen. This is football, right? I just think we were too fast at the top as we were, and we just had 2 poor games.
The only question on the arcs now is how do we bounce back from consecutive loss?
Well, this is the question, because now that, like we said, Ange has now seen those 2 losses. He has seen Dyer. He has seen, actually, to be fair to him, Davis was all right today. Right, Destiny's going to be back next game. Romero obviously has 2 games out, but maybe this doesn't get right until after the Manchester City game.
I was going to say, for me, it's after City, where Romero comes back. Hopefully, Phillips gets blooded, because he's going to have to be. Right, I don't think there's any choice in that. I think Bentancur over the next 2 games gain some match fitness and starting games, and then other players need to step up.
I don't even trust Romero anymore after Chelsea, personally.
Other players.
I think he was.
But
Don't you think he was unlucky? Don't you think that was an unlucky red card? Because not even the Chelsea players appealed for that.
No,
It
the
was
first.
100%
He should have been set off earlier.
The first challenge where he went in the back of Colwell and he kicked out. I said
Thing with
on the
Romero.
group chat
Yeah.
before he made the first challenge, I said we need to sub him off. He's a hot fuse, and then 5 minutes after, he got a red card.
So to be fair to Romero, Romero's kind of let us down in when, you know, what we call the big games, like Chelsea, the rivalries and like that. He let us down against Arsenal a little bit, and he let us
AC
down
Milan
against us.
as well.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about last year. We're talking about this year. Let's
No,
talk about this year.
with Romero, it's a historical thing. He was like this in Italy. He was like this on the past few years. He's never going to change. He's just never going to change.
But
So let me ask you a question, Haz.
no,
Haz, let me ask you a quick question. Sorry, Marlon, very quickly. All right, Romero has fire. Right, it's part of his game. Okay, and it was something that we lauded Dele Alli for. The minute you took that out of his game, he became a liability. Right, he wasn't the same.
He's
player.
already a liability
He wasn't
now,
the same
Romero.
person.
He was going to get red cards every
But
10 games.
but also,
No, he's not. He's had one red card per season.
If you want to go on history, look at that Leicester game.
And every 10 games, it's been 10 games.
Look at that Leicester game, right? Where that guy, he hit hard in their half, right? It was his tackle that led to part of our revival, right? It's 2 games. Romero has that fire in him, and you know what? After what I saw with Dele Alli and removing it away from him, there's nothing in hell. For to me, you take away Romero's fire, you've got another Dyer.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask. Let me ask us this question. Let me ask us this question. Yeah, okay, but let me ask you this question: would you rather that Romero's crap for 8, but he's good for 30, or would you rather Dyer be in there? That's your 2 choices.
You better be careful. Wait, before you answer that question, you better be careful, because if you say a wrong answer, you're going to be eating a chili on our show.
But you can't sign someone else, because right now you're not going to sign. I openly admit you're not going to sign a player, especially now in January, that's on Romero's level that's going to come to Spurs. Let's be completely honest about that.
Well, actually, you say that, but Liverpool went and signed Van Dijk for 70 million a few seasons ago.
Yeah,
but look where they signed him
from, and look where they were at the time. Look where we are.
But I think that's where we went wrong. We should have had Tap Sober in.
We should have sort Band Van and
Tap Sober ain't coming now. He's top of the Bundesliga. Well, he was top of the Bundesliga.
Yeah, but at the time when we were in for him, that's where we went wrong. Am I the only Spurs fan that feels like we should have had 2 centre backs and 2 quality centre backs?
No one's arguing that. No one's arguing that. But what I'm saying to you right now is you have to work with what you've got. You're going out and saying, I'll go buy someone else. Who is that someone else? If you can tell me right now who's coming to Spurs in January to replace Romero and Dyer.
Fair point, Ellie. Bring Ellie's point up, mate. 4 red cards in 75 games.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ellie. Great point, Bob. Well done. Happy days with that. That alone speaks volumes.
One red card per season. I've seen the stat. I've seen the statistics. So the actual thing of what you're saying is wrong.
It's just,
and you're saying there's a liability.
All these big games, though.
Yeah, but those big games, he's not the only one in those games. He weren't the only one who let us down against Chelsea. He didn't let us down today. He wasn't there. Because he wasn't there.
He might be the reason why we lost today, because he wasn't there. If you're praising him so much, then if he wasn't there, then maybe it's the reason why we lost.
Do you know what I find frustrating about this digging out of Romero, right, and calling him a fucking liability?
He's a liability.
How many of us, and be honest, right, how many of us lauded him for the Cucurella hair pull? How many of us have lauded him for those, right? Stupid or not, mate, he was lauded for it.
Who lauded him? I didn't laud him. So you're talking to the wrong person.
No, I'm talking. You look at it.
Stupid.
Right?
It's not something else. It's fucking stupid, man.
You know what?
Your options are so no matter what the point is, your options are right now Dyer or Romero. So
I'd play Phillips. I'd rather play Phillips.
that's where I differ. I think we should go into our youth.
Play Phillips,
These
please.
guys
Play
are in
someone
our
else.
youth for a reason. I thought we employed. Cool. Let me just. The reason why I'm going on this youth thing so much. The reason why we brought Ange
Come on, Jimmy, tell
Postecoglou
us
to
why.
Tottenham, I generally believed that we would use more youth, and it would have given chances for our youth to develop into the first team, where we had Conte and Mourinho, and it was not going to ever happen. This is where I say our youth need to step up. And if we can't have, if our youth can't set up, the whole system's flawed. For me, we're relying on two players, and that for me, look, I differ with Harry about the Romero thing. To be honest with you, I did try to explain to him in the Friday show where
he's
that
hard-headed.
one
Don't worry,
mistake.
TJ.
Yeah, that one mistake is a mistake he just made.
This
Yeah,
is the
cool,
same
whatever,
man.
yeah?
This is the same man that wants goal shy Richarlison up front instead of the games where
Anonymous
Son was
Son
poor
today.
today.
Anonymous
Yeah,
Son today.
yeah, but was it who scored? Who's our top goal scorer this year?
Yeah, because he scores tap-ins, mate.
Does
The same person that wanted what's that manager
Richarlison's played up
called?
front like
Scored
once
tap-ins.
the whole season. He's played
I
up front
what?
once the whole
Has?
season. He played... Hold on, Marlon. You're asking Richarlison to score the same amount of goals as Son when he's playing on the left-hand side, mate. You're delusional.
Because he couldn't cope
You're
up
actually
front.
delusional to think that way.
No, because he can't cope up front. And before you sit there and go
He can play up
Brazil,
front.
Brazil,
You have to,
he can't because he's been
you,
crap for
you
Brazil
play
and he's
Richarlison
been
up front,
crap
you
for
have to
Spurs.
change it. You can't just play the same way.
Okay, so again, you're saying we have to change it. And
Because
just not
changed it for Son. We changed it for Son. We play
Ange is not
through
going to play
balls.
that way.
When Madison's playing, he plays through balls.
Ange is not going to do that, is he?
I'll give you an example.
Ange is not going to
If
play.
I'm playing football, yeah, I'm a small person, yeah. Do you think I'm going to tell my players to play long balls to me and high balls to me? No, I'm going to tell them to play through balls like with Son.
Because
so if you play with
Ange wants to play football, but you're asking us then to play long balls. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because Ange doesn't play that way.
You have to cater to what you have, right? So we've been catering to Son. That's why he's scoring goals.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't been catering to Son.
No one was playing the ball.
Yeah, but we haven't catered to Son. That is the way Ange plays.
We have catered to Son because he did nothing to take passing the ball to him.
Yeah, but that's the way Ange plays. Is it not? If it's not the way Ange plays, then Richarlison. Well, I don't think Richarlison couldn't even do that on the content.
We actually missed Richarlison today, I thought, because at least we would have someone to give us press them.
Well,
because Son did nothing.
You are deluded, bro. Has deluded. Listen, bro. Listen. Usually I'll back you up in it, but bro, listen, I can't even defend you now, man. You've gone past it, bro. Bro, usually I'm on your side, bro, but. Right now, you're saying Richarlison would have been. We missed Richarlison today. Is that what you're saying?
Because at least we would have someone pressing them. Because we just literally sat back and took a beating, basically.
As Friday, you're eating a chili.
Yeah, you're eating chili, bro.
I'm not eating anything, mate.
So let's get back, right? So let's get back to these last 15 minutes, right? What exactly happens in why did we collapse in the last? Look, we were conceding chances anyway, right? But what happened in those last 8 minutes for us to go and concede goals?
They brought on somebody who could finish.
Yes, but I saw it a bit different. I thought we went for the second. I felt like we pushed our players up and it created a lot of spaces for that individual to get himself opened. And as you saw it, I think, don't quote unquote, but I counted about 6 or 7 shots after we brought on Lo Celso and Bentancur, was it? Yeah. Lo Celso and Bentancur, because it looked like we were trying to go for the second, in my opinion.
Okay, TJ, question for you. The free kick that led to their second goal, was it their free kick or was it ours?
The free kick that led to their second goal.
It was ours, wasn't it?
Was that the volley?
He went through the back of our. Their player went through the back of ours, but they got the free kick.
So what are we going to blame? The referee?
Well, to be fair, I think.
Do you know what?
I think he was.
Shall I tell you who I blame?
It was just as crap for both sides, in my opinion. But that decision. Absolute, yeah. I'll be honest. I'm surprised Andy hasn't called for a rematch. That's how bad the decision was.
Boys, I'm going to sit here and throw this out, right? So this is there's 2 players for both goals that I do blame for it, right? So for the first one, right, Dyer gets the blame because I think he lays a crap ball to begin with. But then when Cunha gets the ball, he looks at him and waits for him to make that cross. He doesn't think about shutting him
And
down.
have you noticed how he leans out of the way of it as well?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the first one, right? So
You're
Ben
a
Davies.
defender. Get hit with a ball, you prick.
Right. So the second goal, right? The second goal. Whose man is Lamina? Højbjerg. Højbjerg watches him, go past him, right? Go run past him for a second. Doesn't think once, I need to follow him, or doesn't even think to say to Ben Davies, oh crap, Lamina's coming through, right? He doesn't think that once. His eyes are just completely focused. He sees it, and then he's completely focused on the ball. And Lamina's his man. He hasn't followed the runner. He's allowed the third man running to go through, right? So at the end of the day, what's going to happen? It's going to go in. And that's two players that have come in today, right? Højbjerg and Eric Dyer, who've probably been okay for parts of the game, but lacks of concentration. Like I said earlier in my video, it's going to take them to cost us this game. And it did.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like lacks of concentration is what caused the goals. But
yes,
the first goal for me.
But TJ, isn't that not typical of these players that we said from last year? Lack concentration.
But what can we do, man? We don't have no players, and we don't even want to use our setup. So this is what we're going to expect to happen. We can't really complain.
Yeah.
Do you understand where I can't defend it, and I can't even
TJ,
say there's a
TJ, you've actually made a fucking great point, right? Actually, this is what we've been left with. Why, like, we're all sitting here arguing about different things like that. But actually, let's be completely honest. None of us trust these players, right? So why the hell are we expecting any different? And even in the people in the chat, why are we expecting any different if this is the same people that we wanted out of this team?
Sorry, I think I keep saying the same point, but my defense was when we employed Ange.
Yep.
He will break the cycle and use the youth. And look, I'm not just defending the youth, innit? You might think
TJ, pass the blunt, bro. Pass the blunt.
Yeah, pass it over.
I thought he's gonna break the cycle, to be honest with you, but clearly not. Clearly not. Clearly we're stuck with Dyer that has been here for 10 years. Then Davis, as much as he performed well today, he can't be backup. So even our solutions, you know, and that's who we're left with.
Yeah. No. Do you know what this? And I'm going to ask all of you this, right? Actually, we're all sitting there and complaining how crap they are, and this now, but we were complaining how crap they are under Conte. I'll go with you first, Haz. Do you expect any different with these players that started today because they're the same players we wanted out last year?
No.
Straight to the point.
But let's not like bite the gun here. There are solutions, though.
Yeah, youth.
Let's not.
What are youth, bro?
No. And I don't want to just look. I'm not just saying throw anybody in there. No, but
youth.
For me, like a few comments above. I think it was from Andrea, or he said something about Alfie Moore. Look, someone that's performing at his highest level, he deserves a call up. He deserves a bench. He deserves to be on the bench.
That young Argentinian lad, haven't we? From that young lad from South America that could have done something. Do you know what I do? What was the question again, Marlon?
How can any of us expect any different? This is what we kind of expected with these players that played today. Most of them were here last year.
Right. For me,
why are we expecting something different?
Right. So for me, this is where we sit here after the Villa game, and we sit there and if we lose fucking handsomely as well, there's nothing other than this is on Ange, because he's seen exactly what he has or what he hasn't got. He's now got a week to whip those boys into shape. All right, he's now got a week to be able to get them boys doing exactly what he wants to get. They've been at every fucking training session, so there's no reason why they shouldn't anyway. All right, but he's now got a week to specifically work with those 11 players and say, right, boys, fucking sort it out. This is what I demand. You didn't quite give it to me. Yes, I know you're knackered, or some of you are knackered, some of you aren't. But those of you who aren't still didn't fucking do enough. So for me, this is where if we get done by Villa, it's on Edge.
Great point. So actually, this just leads me on to my next point, and this will be my last question. Villa, do we expect anything different in a couple of weeks? We've now got a whole international break to kind of get over this. He's got 2 weeks with most of the players there because most of them won't go in. Are we going to expect any changes, or do you think he can adapt against Villa?
We've got to pray Ollie Watkins gets crunched in an international game. And I don't like saying that about an England player, but Ollie Watkins is going to run rings around Davies and Dyer.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't expect, unless he gets them really, gets them to pull them up and pulls them up by their bootstraps, like I just said, and works on them over the course of this time, then I don't think there's going to be any joy after we've played Villa.
TJ?
We need to hire witchcraft doctors to fix our broken players because there's something wrong with them. And how long until the next game? About 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks. So by 2 weeks, we will see Eric Dyer perform at his best level.
Which is what?
Back in them old times when he was playing CDM and he would have like a nice cameo appearance and he might score a free kick. We need that Eric Dyer to.
You know what? The best performance he ever did, mate, was on his debut when he scored a brace against West Ham. It's been downhill ever since.
Look, I don't know, man. I can't see us winning against Aston Villa, man. They're too powerful, and their bench is just, they got unlimited players.
The only thing that I'd say about Villa is that their away form is not as great, and hopefully that's going to play into our hands. But
the only other positive point is, or the only other thing that could change is Paro and Dogie are going to have to work overtime in defence as well. Yeah. They're going to have to work overtime because Ndogie's back, happy days. But still, with Ndogie back, unless based on Ange Ball theory, which is all we're going to do is attack, right? Ndogie and Paro.
But do you think that's the right setup to attack? Because for me personally, going against Aston Villa, I don't want to.
Villa will leave spaces. Villa will leave spaces. The problem is as it stands right now, unless Bentancur in the next 2 weeks all of a sudden becomes, start a game fit, then I don't think we're going to be able to exploit those spaces, and we're going to have to trust in our back line. And the one thing I lauded Højbjerg for last season was he's the one man that does the dirty work. Right, for me, I always said he did the dirty work. He was the one man. He took no recognition. Last season, he used to G the team up, but he was that one man. He didn't have that class and finesse, but I tell you what, he was the one man you wanted who went through the player holding the ball and didn't give away a free kick, which he lacked today. And if we've got to hold on by our bootstraps, we need him to do the dirty work and be up at his previous best.
Yeah.
Pats?
What?
Any change? You go attack.
I think we're going to lose 3-1, to be honest with you.
You think we're going to score?
Yeah, but we're still going to lose 3-1.
Yeah, we're going to score in the second minute, straight from kickoff, and then it's all going to go downhill. We're going to lose it in the last 8 minutes.
Again.
Boys, thank you for therapy.
Therapy? I'm more fucking traumatised.
Thank you for therapy.
Mate, the only thing that's kept me chill is Big Nasty in the corner.
He took the piss.
Listen, mate,
You've taken the piss.
Nobody's immune, but Hazard's had too much from me today, for which I apologise publicly if I overstepped the mark, Haz. All right, I love you to bits, mate. So if I have, I apologise publicly for being an.
No, honestly, this is why I hate getting Mac on these shows.
No, I love it. This is what you need. You need these type of characters on the show. They make it live.
As soon as we lost, I was like, I'm so glad Mac's on it, because actually he'll keep me actually spewing out, but he kept me grounded. And hopefully everyone in the chat, thank you as well with your contribution. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Marlon, before you wrap up, I need to ask you a question.
Yeah, go on.
Like your Tottenham gaming chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you had it?
A year now? Over a year?
Are you going to take it back at any point? It looks like you still got the price tag on it.
No, it's called the fire. It's the fire hazard bit. I would just need to remind just in case.
What about the Tottenham tag? Is that not where it says it costs you like 400 quid?
It depends. It depends if I still feel like a Spurs fan in a year. So I can send it back.
I've had enough now. Have your shit back.
Yeah. Or I can sell it on eBay as brand new because still got the tags on the new tags. No, thank you to everyone in the chat. Thanks TJ, thanks Haz as always, and Matt. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a while.
No problem at all. We've got on Tuesday, Ashmatic will be back. Me and Ashmatic will be back, and we'll go through the game that went on today. You've got the rival show on Wednesday with Haz and Ashmatic. Of course, Spurs are probably going to be in the mud, so it's going to be one-way traffic from the rival fans. Next week, we have a video drop in, so make sure you look out for that as well. But yeah, as always.
Wait, hold on. Is there no Friday show?
Because we're talking about doing one anyway.
If you're not going to do one, it's absolutely fine. If you're not going to do one Friday, brilliant. Because you Harry and Harry.
yeah,
man.
You Harry and Harry. So yeah, on Friday, these two will be back with Harry, and they'll probably talk about Wolves and Villa.
That way.
Right?
No,
Yeah,
that way. Those guys. Yeah, those guys.
These two.
Yeah,
So they'll be back Friday, not with a preview show, with a Harry and Harry Haz and TJ show.
And Harry Scott as well.
Just the nonsense.
You'll get more viewers if you advertise it as you and Big Nasty. Trust me, mate.
I'm gonna put TJ in the middle.
You can do it pay-per-view. It'd be like one of those bloody brothers, the Prime brothers doing the boxing.
No, it's been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. But as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.